Welcome to Spooky Bear, where darkness whispers your name. And today, please enjoy.
You were never real. Tom Wilshire always thought he had a normal life. His days followed neat rhythms: 20-minute walk to the office, double macchiato at precisely 8:15 a.m., lunchtime panini, and a chapter of a thriller, evening jog with Gus, his golden retriever, and then Lyra's cooking in his small kitchen. Weekends meant beers with Malik, his best friend since college, or long drives down quiet back roads. It was on an ordinary Tuesday, gray sky, drizzle on the windshield, when Tom first noticed the flicker. He stood at his cubicle reloading his coffee when the office window behind him blinked. One pane of glass rippled like a disturbed pond, then snapped back. He spun, half expecting someone's shoulder to brush through the pane. But the rain-spattered building opposite sat still. Shrugging, he sipped his coffee. At precisely 10:17 a.m., he heard a chime on his computer and turned. The Word document he'd left open had morphed. Q3 projections now read quiet rejections. He hit undo. The text corrected itself. He tapped his mouse twice. Nothing changed. He glanced around, colleagues tapping keyboards, the dull hum of fluorescent lights. No one looked twice. That night, over a burnt panini, he told Lyra, "My computer just wrote something else." She frowned at him, slicing her roasted peppers. "Maybe a stray macro," he nodded, forcing a laugh. But in bed, he stared at the ceiling. When he closed his eyes, he saw quiet rejections floating on the cream-painted surface. By Thursday, Tom's routine was fraying. He met Malik at their regular bar, the Silver Fox, at 6 p.m. Malik raised an eyebrow. "You okay? You look like you slept on someone's porch." Tom forced a grin. "Miss my couch." Malik laughed, slapped him on the back. "Long day?" Tom hesitated. "Weird stuff. Office window flickers. My phone flash messages me things I never typed." Malik set down his glass. "Sounds like you need to chill." Tom downed his beer. The taste was hollow tonight. Maybe, that night, he returned to find Lyra's place illuminated by streetlights that should have gone out at 1 a.m. Her door opened before his knock. She looked pale. "You called twice," she said, pulling him inside. Her robe was damp from washing dishes. "And I had this weird dream." She hesitated. "You were there, in a glass box, stuck." He reached for her hand. "I'll never be in a glass box." In the mirror, she touched her lips. The reflection's eyes glistened too many times. Tom shivered. Tom's sleep was ragged. He drifted into half-dreams, sitting in a stroller while glass panes descended around him, trapping him in translucent walls. Gus barked outside the glass, unable to reach him. Lyra and Malik appeared as waving specters, their voices muffled like distant speakers. He woke soaked with sweat. His pulse pounded. On the bedside table, the digital clock blinked 3:14 Thurston. He'd been out for an hour, not 3 minutes. Rubbing his temples, he eyed the door. Not closed all the way. Goosebumps rippled across his arms. He stumbled up, flicked on the light. Husky snores came from Gus's bed. Lyra's snore followed from the bedroom. Malik's face popped up on the video call screen, pixel blurred. Tom pressed Alt-End. He lay back down, eyes wide. The dream replayed, glass sections swinging into place, walls clicking, seals hissing. He bolted upright, chest tight. This wasn't a dream. It was his mind warning him. 2 days later, Tom reached into the closet and pulled out a battered leather journal he'd forgotten he owned. He'd bought it at a yard sale in college, intending to fill it with story ideas, but never wrote more than a few lines. Now, trembling, he wrote, "Such and such, May 8th first, something is wrong." The world flickers. People's eyes glitch. "I fear it's me, not them." He stared at the page, ink dry. The journal felt heavier than memory. That night, the words he'd written glowed faintly. Beneath his scrawled line, neat letters formed. "You were never real." Tom's breath caught. He held the journal under the lamp. The letters faded. He flipped back through pages, empty. his handwriting, and nothing else. He closed it with a snap. You were never real. The idea pulsed in his skull all night. Tom called Malik at noon. They met at their old haunt, a Denny's off the highway. "Something's happened," Tom said, voice low. Malik sipped coffee. "You been hitting the sauce again? I dreamt you weren't real." Tom stabbed the table. "And Lyra? And Gus?" Malik stared. "Come on, man. I have proof." Tom pulled out his phone, scrolled to a clip of the office window flicker. Also footage from his phone's camera, Lyra's reflection glitching, Gus's paw trailing through thin air. Malik watched, silent. His face paled. He ran a hand through his hair. "Tom, this is, maybe you're depressed, stressed. You need help." Tom shook his head. "No. It's real. I think I'm in some simulation." Malik's stare sharpened. "Do you know what you're saying?" Tom stood. "It's the only explanation." He left coins on the table. Outside, wind tugged his coat. Malik watched him go, uncertain. That night, Tom logged into an encrypted forum for conspiracy theorists. He found posts about Simics, people convinced they lived in simulated realities. One user, Glass Prophet, wrote, "If you question it enough, the code shows you. But to leave, there's a price. Another must reset by breaking the ties." Tom scrolled to Glass Prophet's profile. No avatar, no posts besides 2 cryptic lines. "When you hurt the unreal, you wake yourself. But what if you don't want to?" His stomach turned. The price, hurting illusions of those you love. He shut the laptop, heart pounding. He sat with only his thoughts and the soft snore of Gus at his feet. Over the next week, the world wavered around Tom. Cash registers glitched, prices flickered, sums rolled over, streetlights died then buzzed back. He saw cracks in shop windows, as if reality's glass began to fracture. When he told Lyra, she patted his hand, eyes haunted. "I love you," she said, voice quivering. "We can get through this," but her words sputtered on his phone recording. Phone, we can get," then silence. He watched the playback. Her smile shifted into a hollow mask mid-frame. He pressed stop. He began to withdraw. He skipped dinners. He missed beers with Malik. He stayed awake, eyes rimmed red, watching his world glitch. On a scorching Sunday, Tom returned to his apartment to find a parcel on the mat. No label. Inside lay a small black mirror, pocket-sized. He lifted it. His reflection stared back. Without eyes, empty sockets flickered white. In the mirror, a message scrawled across his blank face. "You aren't real either." He dropped the mirror. It landed, face up, showing the ceiling. When he picked it up again, the message was gone. He pressed his palm to his face. He was real. He had to be. He stumbled to the couch, Gus nuzzling him. Tom hugged him fiercely. The dog whimpered as if confused. That night he flipped open the journal, both pages blank, except the final line he'd written. "And you were never real." And beneath it, "Break the bonds." He read the small text sinking into the paper. "To wake you must shatter the illusions. Hurt them, irreparably." His mind reeled. Was he prepared to harm Lyra, Malik, Gus? To sever the lifelines that anchored him? He lay there, tears dropping onto the journal. "I can't." At dawn, Tom crept to Lyra's door. She slept peacefully, hair fanned across the pillow. He held the notebook in one hand, keys in the other. He pressed the doorbell. Code? No sound. He turned the knob, unlocked. He stepped inside, heart lurching, stirred. "Honey?" He, away. "I can't do it." Rose, "What?" He dropped the notebook. Words, hurt, prove. She advanced slowly, brow furrowed. "Tom, what's wrong?" He shook his head. She reached out. "Yes, it is. I love you." He, her hand touched his cheek. Warm, closed, eyes shimmered, the lines. between simulated and collapsed, as Lyra guided him to the couch. When he stirred, sunlight poured through blinds, door wide. Gus curled beside him, tail thumping. Malik sat in the Malik, gently. Had a rough night? Chest heaved. This real, right? He sat up and braced them both. Lyra's soft cheek, Malik's sturdy shoulder, Gus's wagging tail. On the coffee table lay the journal and mirror. He stared. Words glowed in the mirror's void. You chose love over waking. The journal pages fluttered open to a new line. I was real. Enough. To you. Tom closed the journal, dropped it in a drawer, and exhaled. The world was beautiful, terrifying. Let's never test it again, he whispered. Outside, breathed, imperfect, unscripted, alive.
Sleep is a luxury, and you've just run out. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll be waiting for you if you dare.